Hi everyone. As you can tell by looking behind me, summer's pretty much done, and it's pretty much fall by the looks of it. Technically it's still summer, but another couple of days and it will be fall. And I thought I'd let you guys know how our heat pump performed over this past summer. Um, this past summer was not the hottest summer that we've ever had. It was kind of cool, but for a month, it was definitely air conditioning weather, a little bit more than a month. Between the rain and the humidity and stuff, we had to have it on a fair bit. So I thought I'd go over our thoughts on it. So just as an update for the people who aren't familiar with what system I have, I'll go over to the heat pump and I'll show you what it is right now. So now we're in the house, and in the house we have 4 of these indoor units. This is the one downstairs in the main part of the house, and this is a 18,000 BTU head unit for the heat pump. It's quite big, but I'll tell you the truth, all 4 of them in the house are the same physical size. They just have different capabilities. This one is an 18,000 BTU unit, and this will cool the downstairs of this house without any issue. If we were going to heat with this, I would probably recommend going down from an 18 to 2 9s and putting another 9,000 on the other side of this area. Kind of, I can show you somewhat. But back in there, we have another room, and it would be better to put one there. But for cooling, it actually works really good, because what's actually happening is that we have 3 units upstairs, 1 in each bedroom, and we normally sleep with the doors open. At least my wife and I do. And we have those ones on at night, and they actually keep that side of the house cool down here, because that's where the stairwell is, so the cool air comes down. So that's usually pretty cool in the summer, and this is pretty cool in the summer. And we have a little fan just to circulate a little bit, and that seems to do a really good job. And it's nice and quiet, not like the old window units and portable units. They were crazy noisy. These things are really, really quiet. But that's what we use in the summer for cooling. The one down here, 18,000 BTU, and upstairs 3 6,000 BTU units for a grand total of 36,000 BTU. And that does a really nice job. So that's about it for that. So there it is. That's a Mitsubishi Hyperheat heat pump. That's a 36,000 BTU unit. It cools our house in the summer, and it also gives us supplemental heat in the wintertime. Don't mind that. We just had the house resided, and I have to attach that to the house yet. But nonetheless, that's the system. And how this one works is it's got a branch box up in the attic, and that's what goes up there. And then from the attic, the branch box comes down into the 2 bedrooms here, into the living room here, and then it goes across the attic and it comes down into our bedroom, and that's how we get the 4 head units connected. So basically, for those people who don't know, a heat pump is just really an air conditioner that can also run in reverse, and it uses a different refrigerant, which allows it to run at much cooler temperatures. This unit here will run efficiently, up to 100% efficient, down to minus 30 degrees Celsius or minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Below that, it will not put out 100% of its rated capacity. And the warmer you get above that, the more over 100% it will be. If I were to run it right now to heat the house, which I don't need to because it's 21, but let's say it was only 10 degrees outside, or even freezing outside, and if I were to heat the house with it, it could be up to 400% efficient, because it's not creating heat, it's only moving heat. And same thing in the summertime, it's got a reversing valve on it, so then it just reverses, and then it's just like a regular air conditioner. The only difference is these units here, and most of the heat pumps, not just Mitsubishi's, but most of them, they're really quiet, and they're inverter driven. And what that means is that they're variable. So even though this is a 36,000 BTU system, it will go down to 6,000 BTUs. So once it gets the house to the temperature it needs, it only runs as hard as it needs to maintain whatever temperature it's trying to maintain. And because of that, once they're running and it has the house where it wants, if you come outside, the fans are barely turning. You can't even hear the compressor. It's very, very, very quiet. And it'll run like that all the time. It's not like a standard AC that's going to come on full bore, cool your house down a couple of degrees, shut off, wait for it to warm up again, and then reverse or repeat that cycle. These things don't work that way. They'll get the house to where it wants, and then they will find their happy medium where they can run at constantly to maintain that temperature. So you get a very even, consistent temperature with these things. And that makes them very quiet because they're not running wide open. They're just only doing what they have to do. Now, as far as efficiency is concerned, everybody always asks, well, what does it cost to run one of these things? So I have some numbers. So for instance, in July, our electric bill was $123 in total. That's for the house, the garage, for charging my car, and everything. $123, 697 kilowatts. Okay. And then in August, after we ran this thing for a month, and it was also the same in September when we got the bill in September for August. So actually this August one is for the month of July, and the September one is for the month of August. But they were both $145. And that is 847 kilowatts. So it took an extra 150 kilowatts to run that per month. And that works out to, as I said, it was $145. So that's 20, what is that? 27 bucks. $27 a month. That's less than $1 a day to run this thing to cool your house. I find that really amazing that it's that cheap. We got a letter or an email from the electric company telling us that our bill was going to be 70% higher than the previous month. And we were thinking, oh wow, that's going to be horrible. It was not 70% higher. It was 23, or it was 27 bucks more. So that's all that it was. So you're asking me, well, what do you pay for electricity over here? We're in southwestern Ontario. We get our electricity from Hydro One, and our summer rates, so we're on a tiered system. So from 7 to 11, we're on mid-peak. From 11 till 5, we're on peak. And then 5 to 7, we're on mid-peak. And then from 7 in the evening till 7 in the morning, we're on off-peak. And on peak, it's 15 cents a kilowatt. Mid-peak, it's 10.2. And off-peak, it's 7.4. And then in the wintertime, it switches. The pricing is the same, but the peak and mid-peak are reversed. So in the wintertime, your peak is from 7 to 11, your mid-peak is 11 to 5, and your peak is 5 to 7. And from 7 to 7, it's off-peak. And weekends and holidays are always off-peak. So weekends, it's always 7.4 cents a kilowatt. So we really try to utilize the weekends for doing laundry and stuff like that as much as we can. So that's that. So now your next question is going to be, well, how big is this house? Well, it is a big house. I'm just trying to walk here without running into my wife's garden. Like I said, we just had it sided, so I have to clean up some stuff here. So it's a fairly big house. It's roughly 2,400 square feet plus a little bit in the back here that we don't use. So it's probably closer to 2,750. So it's 2 levels, and it's fairly good size. The place is over 100 years old. It's not insulated that well. We do our best. Like I said, we just sided the place and put a little bit of insulation down, had it wrapped. So we're hoping that'll cut down on some of the heating cost and make the AC even a little bit more efficient. But it's a good size house. But anyways, that's about it. if you guys have any questions, comments, or whatever, feel free to leave a question or a comment, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And we'll go from there. Now, I hope you liked the video. I hope it was somewhat informative to you. And until the next time, take care. And give me a thumbs up if you can too. I'd really appreciate it. I know.